group of South African activists are in Cairo, Egypt, as part of protests against the state of Israel. And they want to now send a clear message to the Israeli government to allow humanitarian aid into Gaza. A South African activist, the Hasina Kathrada, is also taking part in what has been dubbed as the convoy of steadfastness in order to break the siege that has been imposed on the people of Gaza. She now joins others from more than 30 countries who are also planning to march to Rafah, to the Rafah border between Egypt and Gaza. Let's speak to Hasina Kathrada now. Hasina, it's a very good afternoon. Thank you so much. It's great to have you on the show. So tell us about your mission on the convoy of steadfastness on the current situation in Gaza.
Good afternoon, Alicia, and thanks for having me. So I'm part of a delegation of about 55 South Africans, and we set out to Cairo to join about 86 international delegations that gathered in Cairo over the past few days. This morning, the plan was for us to go to Arish, which is about a 5-hour journey from Cairo. We set out at about 12:30. And at about 1:30, we were stopped by the authorities at what I can call a toll station. And here, our passports were taken away. And we've been here since, along with dozens of other international delegations. So at this particular area, there are 5 South Africans. The rest, there are in total about 18 whose passports were taken away, and they are at 2 other stations on the way to Arish.
So, Hasina, look, we have seen global efforts to try and broker peace between Israel and Gaza for months now, and those efforts have not achieved much of the desired outcome. The humanitarian crisis in the Strip is of unimaginable magnitude, with threats of an even wider conflict. So what are you hoping to achieve with this particular action?
Well, this is a global solidarity movement. It's a peaceful, course of action, which 4,000 people have made their way here. And earlier, I spoke to one of the organizers of the movement, Global March to Gaza, and he said, if we end here, if we're not allowed to go any further, then this mission has been successful. With 4,000 people from around the world taking and making the effort to be here, and from 86 countries, and I think you can see the visuals in front of you, yes, and the chanting, and the mood is really one of solidarity, which is great.
And have you received any local media assistance as well as any local support during your course, Hasina?
Local media assistance? No, I don't think so. There's, definitely a huge international media presence, and I'm sure that on the social media you are able to follow what's been happening over the last 6 weeks, and the calls that have been made for people to join this march. But it's really an effort, I think, an individual effort. When I spoke to another South African lady last night, and I said, what made you join the global march to Gaza? And she said, I go to bed every night crying because children are going to sleep every night hungry, and the thousands and thousands of people that have lost, their loved ones, lost their homes, and currently thousands being starved. So yes, I think it's just an individual course, a humanitarian course, and that's what we are all here for.
And Hasina, I understand, if your passports have been taken, just how far are you from actually reaching your intended destination? And also, how long do you then also plan to stay by that particular area in order to try and see if you can actually forge ahead to your intended destination?
So our passports were taken, and we were offered to take them back on condition that we leave immediately. Some were offered their passports, and they would be taken to the airport immediately. But collectively, this group of international activists have decided that they're here, and we might not get to the Rafah border, but we are making our stance heard. The people of Palestine, it's about them. It's not really about us, and we are here to let them know that they are not alone.
And in terms of your safety, Hasina, who's protecting you there? I mean, I believe you are up against the elements if also your passports have also been taken away from you.
So, our passports, they're with the authorities. So we can see them walking around with them. So we know that our passports are here. The South African authorities have been informed, consular services, so they are aware of what's going on. And, Alicia, gatherings like this, I think, with hundreds of humanitarians and people who are able to empathize with the suffering of others on this level. We've had, water, snacks, and dates, and people have just been sharing food. So there's a lot of goodwill and a lot of camaraderie, I think. So I absolutely don't feel alone, and we feel like part of a family here at the moment.
All right, Hasina, best of luck in your campaign. And of course, we wish you a safety return, as well as those that you are embarking on this journey with. That is, of course, South African activist on Gaza, they Hasina Kathrada, and they were intending to march all the way to the Rafah border between Egypt and Gaza. And as we understand from her, they were actually stopped there by Israeli forces, and some of them have had their passports actually taken away from them. So that is a developing story. We will be, of course, monitoring those developments on that particular matter.